I had just turned 13 when I encountered one of the hardest and most emotionally draining days of my life. When I was 13, I liked to spend a lot of time with my grandparents because they were my neighbors and they lived right down the street, so we were always over there anyway, and I would just like stay the night there a lot and love to spend time with them. Well, whenever I was 13, it was in July of 2014, I was staying at their house and we had plans the next day to go shopping and run errands and just run around our town and like do all that fun stuff, have a fun day together. And we did all that the next day. We woke up, went and did all that fun stuff of running errands and shopping. And when we got back to their house, we put all our stuff away that we had just bought and we decided to go upstairs. We went up to the attic to grab this dresser that they had been meaning to bring down to the downstairs of their house for a while. But we decided it would probably be safer if we just got the drawers out of the dresser and waited for my stepdad to come help us with the rest of the dresser. Well, we went and got the dresser drawers and we started walking down the stairs, and I was following closely behind my Nana whenever she started to trip, and she actually ended up falling down a large amount of stairs, and she landed on the floor, and it was just a really bad scene. And my papa was actually still up in the attic, so I had to yell at him to come back down the stairs, and as he tried to stop the bleeding, I like ran over to the phone and started to call 911, talked to them, and got them here. And I just remember still sitting outside of the house with all the ambulances going and the flight coming in to take her to the hospital. And it was just a really crazy time and had a really big impact on my life and taught me lots of things. And it really taught me like these three major points that have a big deal of who I am today and what kind of built me to be the person I am. And the first thing it taught me was to be independent. And I taught independence through this because I was always used to having my Nana and my papa around and my mom to tell me, go do this or like go clean your room and all those things that all your parents will tell you to do. But when this happened, my Nana and papa and my mom were constantly at the hospital making sure she was okay. And this went on for a month or two. And so I had to learn ways to motivate myself and to really just help myself figure out what I needed to do to be independent and get through. And during this time, I also really got into sports. I loved it. I was constantly at practice, constantly trying new things, and just really found my passion in sports. And that just was me being independent because it made me find what I was passionate about and what really made me like have passion for something and made me love something. And so that was one of the things that made me really independent. And it also helped me to become independent in my scheduling. My sisters had their own stuff going on, so we had to make sure our scheduling was very well done and just very in schedule because they were constantly having to drive me places because I couldn't drive at the time. So everything had to be good. And although this time of me learning to be independent was stressful and it was really hard on me at times and I was not always good at it and I was still trying to figure it out, I got through and I learned to appreciate the small things, and it was a really good time for me. It also taught me the second thing of living days to the fullest. It was so important to me that I learned to find joy in the small things and the small improvements that were happening at the hospital with my Nana, and that I just really found joy in those and didn't worry much about the big picture and learned just how important it is to live daily. I also lived life to the fullest by realizing that nothing was ever guaranteed. So I started going to play volleyball and try it out because that was something I always wanted to try. And I learned really just the importance of family and how I need to fully love them and like with my whole heart and always say I love you. That was one of the biggest things to me. So I learned just how important it was of that being part of living life to the fullest. The last thing it really helped me with was my faith. I remember my sister taking me out to the car whenever they were picking up my Nana and taking care of her, and she just praying for me. So I really just had that faith in God. And then also having faith in other people like the doctors and nurses that were taking care of my Nana, and just as well as having faith in myself that I could get through this hard time and remain confident in it and just, stay happy and motivated and all those things. And although this was tragic and it really did take me a while to get to where I am, it did help me grow in so many ways, and I'm so thankful for it. And it made me so strong. And now whenever I have a tough situation like that, I just know I'm strong and that I can make it through it. Thank you.